And he joins us this morning bright and early. Hey, Bill.
Hey, Greg. Hey, guys. How we doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Yeah. I mean, it's been a tough week. We've gotten after it this week in practice, and we got to be ready to go Friday night. So it's been an interesting week, but we're on the right track, I think.
Well, I noticed that you said this week that you essentially need to, as the kids would say, take control of the aux, or play DJ or MC or musical director, and you are not pleased with the musical selections at Alumni Stadium. Is that accurate?
So when we came out for the last home game, there wasn't any in the warm-ups. I'm talking about pregame, and there wasn't really anybody in the stands. And the music, it felt like I was at an opera. You know what I mean? And
Ave Maria.
And so, yeah, Ave Maria. You know what I mean? And so we're getting ready for a football game. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying, so maybe we can get some people in the stands at 7 p.m. instead of right after kickoff, and we'll play some decent music. And if the music doesn't work this time, we'll try something else for the next home game. But I just trying to get it going a little bit in warm-ups.
You know who could put together a fantastic playlist and essentially be your musical director at Boston College?
Scheim.
No, Matt Patricia would be interested if
I like Bill's idea better.
Scheim. if you're hiring, Bill.
Here we go. Uh-oh.
Bill, when you look at your team, you have your past couple of weeks, you have a game where you have the lead, and then you have a game where you basically fight back and score 21 points in the third quarter, have an opportunity, 4th and 1 from midfield, and, get a turnover on downs. With your team, you show the ability, all right, we can take a lead, but we got to be able to hold on to it. Then you show the ability, we were down, we were able to get back, but we weren't able to finish. What are some of the messages that you kind of can take away that might be positive from, situations where past couple of weeks look pretty bleak?
Yeah, definitely. We're a streaky team, and so what we have to learn is that's not what you want to be. You want to be a consistent team, and we want to try to make sure these guys understand how important it is to play 60 minutes. When you look at these games in college football around the country, these games, a lot of them go down to the wire. It doesn't matter who's playing each other. It doesn't really matter. So we've got to deal with the adversity better. We've got to deal with the success better. And so I think that's one thing that we've really tried to, we've talked about it a lot this week, but we've also worked on it in practice, right? Like sudden change things and, things that come up in games where, hey, man, look, we got to play the next play. And so that's what we're trying to do. And these guys, man, they work hard. They're trying to do it the way we're doing it. We want them to do it. And, along the lines of coaching, too, we got to coach better. We got to adjust better during the game and things like that.
Bill, a big difference from the beginning of the season when you guys were performing really well to the last 3 weeks with the bye in the middle is turnovers have kind of become your Achilles heel. What's been the difference there? Is it just going against harder defenses, or is it something that you guys have struggled with internally?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, we cannot put the ball on the ground. We can't throw interceptions. Some interceptions are going to happen, if a ball bounces the wrong way or something like that. But, we have to be when we carry the football, Courtney, for Boston College, when we handle the football, we're carrying the hopes and dreams of everybody in the school, in the team. And so, we have to understand that. The possession of the ball, there's nothing more important than that. And I believe really strongly that if we take care of the ball better, then we'll be in position to win games. But we turn it over. We turn it over on Virginia Tech's 5-yard line. We're going in to score. We can't do that. And we've emphasized that this week, and hopefully it gets better.
Hey, Billy, I know it's a pet peeve of mine, but it's my own problem. However, it's obscene to me that Notre Dame is expected to be one of the 12 playoff teams. They lose at home to Northern Illinois, who's mediocre at best. Is there? I don't know. I guess it's just it's good for the sport. But have you? Does it irk you as much as it irks me that every year Notre Dame finds itself in a conversation it doesn't deserve to be in?
something happened, a long time ago when Notre Dame was allowed to be, I get it, it's money. I understand what happened when they signed their NBC TV contract years and years ago, and they became their own entity, right? So like they were on their own. Like even in the ACC, they're not really in football. They're really not a part of the ACC. It's just the other sports. So I'm not smart enough to really understand how that all happened. But like, just because they're Notre Dame and because they're on their own doesn't mean they're automatically qualified for certain things. And so I think and I have a lot of respect for Marcus Freeman and how he runs his program. I'm just talking about Notre Dame as a football program. Shouldn't they be in a conference? I don't know. But, what do I know?
Bill, you keep talking about how hard this team is working in practice. Would you say that your team is not soft?
Our team's not soft. No, I love our team. Our team plays hard. That's the least of our problems. Our team has to learn how not to lose before we can learn how to win. Meaning, like, the question you asked before about, we got to take care of the ball. We got to stop the run. Meaning we got to be in our gap. We got to be in the right gap. The coaching wise, we got to make better adjustments. We're all in this together. Everybody at Boston College is in it together. When we lose as a team. It's not one side of the ball loses, the other side of the ball wins. That's just not the way it is in football. And so we've talked a lot about this week, a lot about that, how we can come together, play complementary football and play together as a team. But no, this is a tough football team. This team will play hard. I think every time I go out there before the game or even after the game, the opposing coach always says, man, you got a tough team. Well, that's good. I mean, it is good, but we got to learn how to win and to stop, losing games by making mistakes. But toughness is not our problem.
Courtney's alluding to it, but Jerod Mayo may have stepped in it here or there a few times recently. If you, having been a first-year head coach in the NFL, if you could only give one piece of advice to Jerod Mayo, what would that be?
First of all, Greg, I understand the question, I really do, but I'm not in the place to give advice to Jerod Mayo. I mean, I coached 7 years in Houston. I know Jerod. I coached with Jerod for a year. I was on the staff when he was a player. Look, I think just generally speaking, though, answering your question, I think it's really important for, all younger coaches to understand, it is very, very difficult to be a head coach. When you get into that seat and, maybe you don't have a whole lot of experience, it's just a different world. To go from being a position coach to being the head football coach, it's hard. And there's going to be some learning experiences that take place. And, to me, it's all about keeping the team together, especially when you're in a situation. It's very difficult. I was there last year. We were terrible. I mean, it was hard, man. And we had a lot of good guys on the team, but, it was just a brutal situation. And it's important to try to keep them together and keep them playing as good as they can and try to get them to improve every week. That's the hardest thing. But being a first-year head coach in the National Football League is you're well compensated, no doubt about it. Nobody's feeling sorry for you, but it's a very, very difficult job.
Given how difficult the job is, were you surprised that Bill Belichick was so public in his critique of Jerod?
Well, I think Bill's the one thing about Bill is, he's a very honest guy. He's very, very smart. He's going to tell you what he sees, and that's what his role is right now. He's in the media. I haven't talked to Bill in a long time, since the summertime, but, he's doing what he believes is right for his job, right? So he's in the media, and he's honest in his assessment of every team. When I've listened to it, I haven't listened to it a whole lot, but it's not just the Patriots. I mean, I think he assesses every team the way he sees it, and that's what his role is in the media.
Do you think you'll make the wedding guest list?
The wedding? What's that? Do I think I'll make it?
Yeah.
No, I won't. I don't think I'll be on any wedding guest list. I'm not but the thing of it is, I'm not a big wedding guy. You know what I mean? I'm not sure that I would politely probably decline the invitation anyways.
Well, you're like Wiggy. Wiggy can't stand destination weddings. He doesn't want to spend to go to your wedding. Do you feel that same way?
Yeah, I'm with Wiggy. I'm not into wedding. I'm not, my favorite things to do are 4th of July, Christmas, Thanksgiving, but weddings themselves, like not a big wedding.
Yeah, I don't want to waste my vacation going to your destination wedding or
Okay,
someplace
we
I
get
might
it.
not want to
You
go
just-
to.
You just lost Courtney, by
No,
the way.
no.
It's her favorite thing.
I
If
do
she
love
could have
weddings.
70 of
Sorry,
them,
Courtney.
she'd have 70 weddings. It's her favorite thing in
So
the world.
my wife loves weddings, so like I get it, but like I'm not a big wedding guy.
Bill O'Brien, it is always a pleasure. Go get him tomorrow night. I think Courtney's going
Yes.
tomorrow night.
Yep.
Courtney's going to be there tomorrow
Awesome.
night. And get
Awesome.
that playlist ready.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to you again next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
There he is, the great Bill O'Brien.
So they need some Boss Man D-Lo and Big X the Plug at music for the Alumni
Yeah,
Stadium.
he's
Yeah.
right.
Oh, why don't you send him a text message?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know,
with
I
your
I mean,
request.
my name came right out of his mouth, so I'd be happy to step in.
Yes, it did, Sean.
I think
Yes.
Billy O's tired of DJ Father Leahy.
Yeah.
Sean, they're going to pay you in meatballs in a cup, if that's okay.
Honestly, I'd take that.
All right.